These forces are absolutely insane.
So I'll take it you're not celebrating the Queen's Jubilee.
No, I'm not doing that. What I'm trying to do is do my part, and I have some background, some capabilities. Do my part to encourage those who think as I do in our country, including some of our top military and other people like that, to do what we can to get this guy out of office before he gets us into a thermonuclear war. And on that basis, the minute that guy is going out of office, I can guarantee you there will be some shocking things occurring for the good. And they'll happen soon. And I'm just fighting on that basis now. That's my job, is part of this job.
If you could be at Bilderberg coming up in Virginia in 2 weeks, when we come back, Lyndon LaRouche is our guest. LaRouchePack.com is one of the main websites we've had up on screen here. I want to ask you, what would you do if you could address the power elite meeting, 130 of them or so? What would you say to these people? Because they are eugenicists, they are crazy people. David Rockefeller, it doesn't have long for this world, and maybe he wants to go out in a blaze of glory because they are moving missiles in against Russia. They are moving in ships in on China. With this other double game of having China take over our media, it's bizarre. I'd seen the longevity products. I was thinking during the break how a long time ago, Lyndon LaRouche wrote, or his outfit put out, Dope Inc., exposing British royalty and their control of much of the narcotics trade. And now that's out in the open. That's why they're going to keep British troops through 2014 in Afghanistan. I was thinking about how they now show our troops growing the opium on the news and say it's good. This whole facade now is see-through, but the system still operates like we don't know and just counts on apathy. But if you could talk to some of the most powerful people in the world, I know you've advised CIA directors and others, what would you say to Bilderberg? Because I know they pay attention to this show. They pay attention to what you do as well, Mr. LaRouche. What would you say to them with their meeting coming up in Chantilly?
Say, drop dead, because there is no future for humanity under a Bilderberg type, and it is a Bilderberg type of program. That's the word is not understood adequately, but that policy that was laid down by those two monarchies at that time was a scheme for destroying civilization. And now this scheme has to be destroyed.
See, as usual, you're so historically informed. Explain to people. 1954, Dutch, British royalty set it up to carry out a eugenics world government.
Well, the two monarchies, the Dutch and the British, are products of a system that was created as the new Venetian party. That's why the two monarchies are there. The British were conquered by the Dutch, by the invasion of England, in this case. So the point is, we get rid of that thing and go back to the American system, which is what the rest of the world would really like. I don't get Russia, China, so forth. They would like the American system. And therefore, our job is to get the American system restored and get this British Empire system out. And we can do that if we get enough angry people deciding, like our Joint Chiefs of Staff types who are doing their job, for example, and do our job. And we can rebuild this economy immediately. We can proceed. We can get reforms in place, and we can get large programs which are ready to go. And we can recreate the United States as it once was, and better.
That's right. These people spend all their time, and admit it, suppressing the growth. The oligarchs don't want growth. They're always acting like they want to make things grow, but their real policies are post-industrial.
Yes, we can go with NWAPA, which is ready to go. That is ready to go as a design process. This will create 4 million jobs of high technology jobs, generally, with 2 million others coming in for places like the old auto industry and other things. We can create, on short notice, under the correct kind of program, like a Roosevelt program, we can create 6 million high-tech jobs, or basically high-tech jobs, in the United States.
Let me ask you this, Lyndon LaRouche. Why would $20 billion of our bailout money be used to move General Motors, Cadillac and Volt plants to China? Because on one side, the West is trying to start a war with China, but the other side, henpecking the United States and getting rid of our industry. I guess it's that oligarch mind of just attack everybody. I mean, what is that?
They're out to reduce the world's population, as the British have stated, from the present level of 7 billion people estimated on this planet to 1 at a rapid rate. The intent, you look for it, when the U.S. industries went over from the United States into China, they didn't do much in production. They took the production capability of the United States and they tried to destroy it. They are destroying our food supplies. We're going to have mass death on this nation come summertime under the present conditions. And those conditions exist in other parts of the world. We now have a last chance to get rid of this president we have, put him someplace in an insane asylum where he can be protected, no damage come to him, and we can now act to restore our economy, and we must do that. We can do it, and we must do it. But we've got to get this present policy, and the last 2 presidents we've had here have been bad jokes. We've got to get our policy back in function.
Well, I'll say this. The fact that for 16 years his literary agent said he was born in Kenya, that's really hurting him. But I don't see how we get rid of him. We've got the impeachment bill. You and Ron Paul and others are supporting. LaRouchePack.com. Lyndon LaRouche, thank you so much for spending time with us, and hopefully we can get a new update from you in the next few weeks. Thank you. There goes Lyndon LaRouche with the best Skype feed I've ever seen. It's like the guy is, it's like looking through a window at the TV monitor at that guy. I mean, I wish our high-def cameras looked that good. That guy's got some amazing tech staff over there. All right, there he goes. We're going to get an update coming up. You know, I hope we can avert this, but I'm telling you, he's right. The people running things are completely insane. They're eugenicists who think killing all of us is a great thing. And that's on record. This is insane. We'll be back.
We're on the
Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. We're here live, blasting out on XM channel 166, over 100 AM and FM affiliates, global shortwave WWCR, and #1 on audio streams, podcasts, you name it, Infowars.com. And I was up till about 2 in the morning last night doing research. And I just cannot quit working too hard, because then what happens is I'm burnt out once I get on air. And it's actually been a powerful show today. It's just, I just feel like it hasn't been. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do more. I want to impart to people how serious this is. I don't hate the police in Chicago. I'm sad for them, because I know they're hired, put into peer pressure, taught to do what they're told, ignore some crime while prosecuting other. Setting up, I've gone down the research. These 4 guys they've charged with terrorism now, beer-making equipment. One of them has a criminal record, getting drunk on tequila and going swimming in the school swimming pool. And they're charging him with terrorism. 12 cars pulled up around Luke Radowski, aimed guns at him, cussed at him. You know, I mean, there's a famous video of the police saying, "We're going to say you're a terrorist if you don't quit protesting Larry Silverstein in Building 7. And he goes, "But I'm not a terrorist." And they go, "We know you're not, but we're going to say you are." I can hate those police, but in the final equation, man, they are really dishonorable, sad, wicked people. They are enemies, enemies of freedom, enemies of everything good, but most of them really think it's okay to set up protesters and to dress up like protesters and commit crimes. They do it all over the world. And I just wonder, because so many police I meet in person are good people, and I know police do good things. So how do they get away with this in cities like Chicago and like Seattle and Denver, where they've been caught dressing up like protesters, beating people up so they can then attack the peaceful protesters? You see what I'm saying here? How are you so dishonorable? And why do you do it? Well, I know why. If you do those type of corrupt things, you get promoted up the chain. And I wanted to get an update from Luke Radowski of We Are Change. They reached in and cut off their live streams. And by the way, when I go to Bilderberg, we're going to have multiple live streams the entire time if they try to set us up. And don't let that intimidate you. I mean, when you just, it's kind of exciting. You know, if a cop walks up, shoots me in the head. I fought tyranny. I died a good person. I died someone for humanity. I died for those children in CPS dungeons being raped by big fat pedophiles right now. and they drug them out of their minds so they can't report on them. You know what? I mean, you got to get to the point of, we're going to peacefully resist these people, and I don't care what you do to me. And I'm not saying that's even going to happen. The point is you got to stop caring about what happens to you. It's that cowardly attitude that has gotten us to this point. And it totally creeps me out to see police all over the world. I saw G20 a few years ago in England. A guy delivered newspapers every day to this little shop that sold cigarettes and newspapers, little corner convenience store. And the police wouldn't release the tape, but later it got released to court. And the guy turns around nicely, he has his little thing. He goes, I'm delivering newspapers, a little cart. He said, I have the proper badge. And they just beat him to death and have fun killing him, and then later said he'd done something. It's like, wow, they're hiring such cowards. Because, I don't say I'm the toughest guy in the world, but I'm not looking for a fight either. I mean, I know how dangerous it is. I'm not looking to get my nose broken and stuff, but if somebody starts a fight with me, once I start, I certainly get into it because they've done something to me. But I'm not like the type who wants to. I've always seen people who'll see like a little guy and they'll want to go beat him up. I remember one time in high school, my girlfriend's brother was like a runt, and I saw like 4 or 5 guys slamming his head into a locker, and I went over and beat him up. Because it wasn't hard. They were bullies. They were punks. My dad got sued because I punched one of them. The guy's whole nose came off. It was wild. It's like just a black hole in his face with blood shooting out. But that's a side issue. I couldn't imagine why 4 guys would want to be picking on a runt. A runt. There was obviously something wrong with him. He was a lot smaller. He was little. His sister wasn't like that. He was a runt, like a runt of the litter. And to me, it was, I came over and said, why don't you pick on somebody? So one of them punched me, and I went, bam, tore that guy's nose off. And I'm not bragging about how I'm a tough guy. I've been hurt bad as well. The point is, I would never want to attack somebody who didn't have it coming. And the cowardliness of wanting to, in all these police videos I've seen. Okay, here's an example. That's why my head spins. We're going to Luke. 2 years ago, I sent Rob Dew, Jason Burmish, and what was it, Aaron Dykes or Rob Jacobson? I forget who all I sent. But I sent 3 guys up there. I know it was, Dew was there, and so was Burmish, because Dew got arrested. Oh, yeah, Aaron was there, too. Douglas was there. And they all get up there, and the police are beating up old ladies and releasing police dogs because no one was resisting them. So, and this is in Pittsburgh, so there's famous footage of the 2 old women come out with grocery bags in their hands out of a shop, and they release a police dog on them. And the old women turn and say, we're going to our cars. This is just in Pittsburgh. And the police just release the dogs on them. Again, total mental illness going on there. And the police were beating up innocent women and people who'd done nothing. And I said, I want you to go talk to the military. Why are they there? This is illegal. So they go to the military and they go, you got to go over here and talk to our commander. Here's the public information officer. He's over here at this building. So the guys pull up and they shot video of this. Military walks over. No, he's not here. He'll call you back. Who are you? They look at Americans like they're trash. It's a fun game. They're told media and American people are your enemy. So the military walks over. Why do you want to know? Well, we're just the media. Here's our card. We'd like to, go interview your public information officer. We were told, come here. All right, well, we'll call you. Hour later, they're at the hotel in their rooms, ordering some, room service, working all day. Cop calls. And I even called on there and talked to the cop, and he admitted it all. And they said, we're coming to arrest you for terrorism. You're planning to blow up the military. And if we wouldn't have had a radio audience and been able to call the Pittsburgh police and all this, they were sending police. They'd gone to the rental car place. They'd found out where they were. They were coming until I found out and called them and had a bunch of listeners call it an emergency broadcast, internet only, and they backed off. But they were coming and saying, you're terrorist, you're going to prison. He said, you're terrorist, you're going to prison. And we're coming right now. And I called the guy up and I said,